Welcome back to Tuscan Tire Overlanding, Episode 1, Part 2 of our Wild Side of Mabua adventure. In Part 1, we left the tar, dropped into the Kalahari sand, and finally made it into Jack's Pan. If you missed that build-up, hit the link on the screen or in the description and start with Part 1. Because in this episode, things get real. Softer sand, wilder tracks, and a few moments we honestly did not see coming. Stick around, this is where the wild side starts to show.
Feel it all. We got a wood like stories untold. Each bucket memory will hold. Oh, Africa, breathe me in. So come on, feel the fire through Tuscan Tire.
What an awesome night. Clear skies, stars by the millions. Got some nice footage of the stars last night. But it's time to go. I've teared down camp. I'm ready to roll. There's some springbok and gemsbok on the pan. I hope to get some footage of them. Because the wildlife was scarce. But I'm happy to be here. So, let's get this thing on the road. Adjusting some suspension. You guys must be good.
Just off the edge of the pan, a herd of springbok moves quietly through the bush. Some grazing on the short green shoots that returned after the rain, and others lying down resting in the open. The springbok may look delicate, but few animals are better suited to this harsh land. They're what ecologists call mixed feeders, able to switch between grass and browse depending on what the season offers. That flexibility is what lets them thrive in the dry heart of Botswana. What's remarkable is how little water they actually need. Springbok can go weeks without drinking, drawing almost all their moisture from the plants they eat. When food is scarce, they turn to succulents or high-protein shrubs, perfectly adapted to squeeze life out of all unforgiving landscape. And when the rains come, they know exactly where to find the first new growth, on the pans where water once pooled and the soil is rich in minerals. In earlier times, these herds would have joined the great trekbokke migrations, thousands moving across the Kalahari with the seasons, following rain and food. Those mass movements have long faded, but their instinct remains. They still roam far, always chasing the promise of fresh grazing. What you're seeing here is the quieter side of that story. The pause between journeys, the herd relaxed, bellies full, some lying down to chew and rest. It's a rare moment of peace in a life built on movement. Out here, even in the stillness, the springbok embodies survival, not through power or aggression, but through balance, awareness, and perfect design for the desert.
Well, I've arrived at the cut line, the turnoff at Jack's Pan, and sad to leave. But I'm excited for Mabua. Hoping for lions. Yeah, sad to leave, but let's go. Only my tracks. Nobody has been on this road since 2 days ago. So onwards to Mabuasehube.
10 kilometers from Jack's Pan, the road cuts through low camel thorn trees, a stretch of quiet bush where the stillness is only broken by the wind and the occasional call of a bird. Corné is en route to his next stop and a surprise visit along the way. Perched high on a bare branch sits a young pale chanting goshawk. It's one of the most recognizable raptors of the Kalahari. Long red legs, sharp eyes and a calm patience that defines the open desert skies. These hawks are skilled hunters, taking lizards, small mammals and even other birds. A fork-tailed drongo, barely a quarter of the goshawk's size, dives again and again, striking from above with fearless precision. Encounters like this reveal how complex the wild truly is. The Kalahari isn't ruled by size alone, it's ruled by awareness.
Very nice drive from Jack's Pan to Mabua until about 10 kilometers before Mabua. Then they've tried to build a road, but I rather prefer the sand, as the corrugations is absolutely horrendous on this road. I'm currently driving at 15-16 kilometers and I've got about another 7 kilometers to go. So I'm gonna take footage on the GoPro and so allow for the last 10 kilometers to Mabua at least an hour, 40 minutes, an hour. So let's get this on the road. That's it, another 350 meters. Then I'm at Mabua Gate. Hey man, been a long time. Yeah, the last 3 kilometers wasn't so bad. So all in all is about 7 kilometers that's badly corrugated. But if you take it slow, then it's good going. So enjoy this moment with me, arriving at Mabua Gate. I didn't make any bookings, so I'm winging it. Hopefully they've got space for me. This time of the year I don't think it's too busy. And I'm sure that they will be able to help me somehow. Good morning.
How are you?
Afternoon.
How are you?
Find yourself?
Hi.
I fit. Does it fit? Does it fit?
No, I swear.
Alright. Alright. Formalities done at Mabua Gate. They've got 2 nights for me at Khiding Pan. Onwards to Khiding I go.
Corné just cleared the gate at Mabuasehube, and while we head toward camp, let me tell you where we actually are. This corner of Botswana was once a lived-in landscape. Records from the 1930s mention families using Mabuasehube Pan itself as a base, until drought pushed them towards Tabong. Long before it was a park, it was a place people knew and named. The name Mabuasehube is translated from the local roots as red earth or red sands, fitting for these Kalahari dunes stitched together with camel thorn and open pans. It was only in 1971 that Botswana set this aside as the Mabuasehube Game Reserve, about 1,800 to 2,000 square kilometers, and later in 1992 it was absorbed into the bigger Botswana Gemsbok National Park. What you see ahead, those wide shallow basins, aren't man-made. They're fossil pans of the southern Kalahari, old wind-scoured depressions that once held shallow water. When they dried, they left clay and a little salt, and that still pulls wildlife in after rain. That's why the camps are built around pans. The pans are the heart. Mabua has about 7 main pans with camping areas and a few extra sites near the access routes. Altogether, it's only around 17 individual sites for the whole area, and every single one of them is unfenced. There's no barriers between you, lions, or whatever decides to walk through camp at night. That unfenced freedom is actually listed as one of the big attractions here, but it also means you camp with respect. So when people say Mabua feels different, this is why. It's newer than the old 1938 Gemsbok Park, it sits on ancient Kalahari pans, it kept its small number of sites, and it never lost that raw, self-reliant style of camping that Botswana is famous for. Alright, gates done, tires are on sand, and now we're driving into the reason we came.
After about a 30-kilometer drive, I'm arriving to Khiding Pan, where I am going to spend 2 nights. At Khiding 1. Looking forward to this 2 nights, and hopefully I will encounter lions. Well, I am arriving at Khiding Camp. I have stayed here before, and we did encounter lions at Khiding Camp. Welcome to Khiding Pan. Got my parking spot and I'm ready to set up camp for the afternoon. Just gonna have a relaxing afternoon and enjoy the scenes and the surroundings. So stick with me while I set up this camp. So all I have to do is I let the step ladder go down. I've got one lock on the roof in the camper, which I then loosen. It's loosened. I switch on the actuators. And while that is going on, I then open up my kitchen. And I open up my fridge. Okay, I need to take out the bed first. So this side is the bed. Locks like that. And I pull it open. I've got space to take out my gas bottle and slide open the fridge. So I get inside and I just push up the stabilizer bars. I'm camping. So I'm gonna have a nice relaxing afternoon. Got some chores to do that I need to sort out, and then enjoy this awesome view over the pans. The thing I want to show you, that in the bush you have to make plans and you have to think out of the box. So on my Ford, I've got a tank underneath my Ford F250, 2 tanks, one each side under this chassis. and I've got a small transfer pump that I use to pump that water into my main tank, but I forgot the wire at home. So what to do next? Luckily I've got 2 fridges here in the back, and I took the one fridge plug from the battery, plugged it out, and I put the 2 wires in there, and it made my pump work, so I can transfer water to my main tank so that I can shower. Yeah, so think out of the box. Let me show you this. Yeah, I just stuck it in there, and the pump is working. It's transferring the water via hose pipe to my main tank. Slowly, but it gets there eventually. And obviously, when I can hear the pump struggling, it's that tank is empty, then I switch it off. So yeah, when in the bush, think out of the box. Well, a very good evening here from Khiding Pan at Mabuasehube. Why am I doing this? This is my happy place. Here in the bush. This is my happy place. If today was the last day on earth, this is where I would spend it. And I'm bringing it to you guys because there's a lot of people that does not know about a lifestyle like this. There's a guy on TikTok, I can't remember his name, but he made a video about camping, and then, oh no, you know, you can't camp because this and because that, and I don't think he's ever camped. And I'm not talking about camping at Hartenbos for 2 or 3 weeks. That's not my scene. That's not camping. I'm not a person for crowds. I've been on my own for 5 days and I'm happy. I've got a family, I've got a wife, son is in school, the other one is close to being married. My wife is having a holiday in Phuket with my cousin, and I was invited to go with, and I said to them, no, foreign places is not for me. To sit in an aeroplane for 27, 30 hours, I'll rather be on the road for 30 hours if my destination is this. And once you touch the swell of the Kalahari, you'll always come back. I don't think that you can get a sunset like this anywhere in the world except for Africa. As people of Africa, born and raised, nothing is more beautiful than this. Sometimes the beauty of this life hits you harder than you expect. Out here, in the heart of Mabuasehube, I found myself trying to explain why I do this. Why these dusty miles means more to me than any overseas destination ever could. It's not just travel, it's connection. It's the silence between the wind and the sand that reminds me who I am. The dying sun spilled its last red light over the pans, and for a moment I just sat there, a silhouette against it all. No words left, just gratitude. Because this is where I feel closest to life. And if I must drive 20 hours to reach this feeling again, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Still surprises those who think they know her. Up here where the air thins and the clouds run like rivers, you realize the continent still keeps secrets. The road climbs higher, trading heat for silence. The engine hum becomes your heartbeat.
After a great afternoon at Khiding Pan, watching the sunset, listening to the bush choir, I just got caught in the moment, and I was sitting on one of the benches here. It got very late, so no time to make fire to braai, because then I'm gonna eat I don't know what time. And also, being in the surroundings, you don't want to be out there. Steak and veggies already in the air fryer. Let me start this guy. Let's start at 15 minutes. Usually that's good. At 200 degrees. I like my steak medium rare. Okay, 15 minutes, I'm back. Steak and the veggies is done. That's gonna be some nice food tonight. Okay, that's me for the evening. Gonna have my meal. I'll maybe show you a picture of what it looks like. And then I'm gonna have a nice shower in my camping setup. And then I'm off to bed, bright and early, to catch the sunrise for tomorrow morning. Hey, I've just got to watch out, there's geckos and stuff running around here. But me signing out for the evening. Cheerio. And my little friends are back this morning. Here's the African ground squirrel. Very used to humans. Gonna take the camera off the tripod so the shots might be shaky. Hey! Yo! Yo, when you catch a fright, you catch it in your mother tongue, eh? He was biting my toenails. Hey, stay away. Thought my toes are breakfast. No, man. Oh. Yeah, I was busy with some other videos, so I don't have my long lens on. Let's see if I can go closer to them. Oop. No, they're running away. Well, I'll be back shortly with my morning coffee. Good morning. Cheers on a nice cup of coffee. What an awesome morning. I've got ground squirrels keeping me company. But what an awesome evening. This morning nature called about 4 o'clock. And what we usually do is I put the lights on. Then I scan through the windows to check if there's anything in the surroundings. And I opened the camper door. And as I walked out to my left, there was two spotted female hyenas. So I'm not too scared of hyenas, although I will never take a chance. And well, nature called, so they were roaming around. They came to the front, went around the camper, came into the A-frame, the lapa. And they were looking at me. They turned around again and they walked the other way and they were gone. But an awesome experience. It wasn't lions, but at least it was hyenas. Sorry, I'm looking around. I've got these squirrels around me and they can be nasty. My feet is on the ground. And because we've got a paved slab here, I don't really wear shoes if I'm just off the slab or on the slab. And that was my evening. Went back to bed, woke up and started making coffee, and the squirrels arrived. I might probably take a game drive this afternoon for a while. Although at Mabua, all the previous times that we were here, the game were around the pan, and on your game drives you saw nothing. So basically it's a pan-to-pan driving, and it will take 2 or 3 days to go through all the pans here at Mabua. You pluck some. Hey, I'm not lunch. Well, it's time to have a bush shower, so let me set up this quickly. A very easy shower tent, and while I'm busy doing that, you can see the aircon has got a big dent in it. I transport boats for clients, and most of them are catamarans, and the one kill took out, the one kill was very close to the vehicle, and when I turned and reversed, that happened. So, something I still have to fix. I went on a game drive this afternoon, read no results, no predators, no plains game. It's very, very scarce, which is very unusual for Mabua, as I've always saw plenty game when at Mabuasehube. But maybe wrong time of the year, just after the rains, maybe there's a lot of water in the field. That's why you don't see the animals. And just an interesting fact, Mabuasehube means red sands. Other way around, Sehube is red and Mabua is sands. So just an interesting fact, that's what Mabuasehube means. On my grain drive this afternoon, started hearing this, well, I've heard this rattle for quite a couple of kilometers, and I think it's that bad road of just before Mabua Gate, that 10 kilometers. I started hearing the rattle there. But it wasn't as bad, so you just think it's something rattling. On the game drive this afternoon, that rattle suddenly became enormously hard. Stopped, got out, as we are allowed to get out of our vehicles here in Mabuasehube. In most of Botswana's game reserves, it's allowed, although it's on your own risk. And the bumper was starting to fall off. Luckily I wasn't too far from camp, so I drove back, parked the vehicle, got underneath, and I saw out of 8 bolts only 1 is left. On the one side all 4 is gone, on the other side 3 is gone. Managed to tighten that 1 bolt, and on the other side I had to put a ratchet strap like that, so it's hooked underneath the chassis and hooked on the slam tray, and this bumper now is going nowhere. Tied very properly, as they say. That's going nowhere. Just a tip, always carry ratchet straps with you when overlanding. As many as you can, different sizes, big, small. There's a lot of things that I've done with bush fixes on the ratchet straps, and not just tying down things on the roof racks, but just stuff repaired, like tow bars starting to come off, we tie it with a ratchet strap. If you're towing a trailer, the axle, something goes wrong there, tie it with a ratchet strap. So just an overlanding tip, always carry ratchet straps, from big to small, long, short, as much as you can, because when in trouble you can never have enough. Because on these bush fixes also, they shave, they break, you have got to put another one. So yeah, that's the bush tip for this episode. Carry ratchet straps, and maybe not a Ford. In each episode, I will share a little bit of myself on how I got to loving nature and overlanding so much. So the seed was planted back in 1998, where I worked for a construction company, and we landed a project in the Okavanga Delta on Chief's Island, where we built Chief's camp for Abercrombie and Kent that time. So we received GPS coordinates from the client, and we drove out. It's about, from Maun, we drove at, I think it was about 120 kilometers, and that 120 kilometers would take you about 17 to 20 hours, depends on the time of the year. There was even times of the year where the Okavanga flooded and we couldn't drive in, and we had to fly in, and then all the material was also flown in with Dakotas. The rest of the year, when you could drive, it was brought in by sawmill hundreds. And yeah, but getting back to the story is, we landed this project, we drove to site, we got the GPS coordinates, we laid out the layout of how we would think that the lodge need to be situated for the best view. And when the clients arrived, they said, excellent, we can go ahead. So in Botswana, in the Okavanga, you are not allowed to put permanent structures in, so all of it was wood and tents and non-permanent structures, so that the stuff that you take in, your concession got cancelled, then you have to take it out. We had a little construction camp of tents, army tents, where our kitchen was, and we had a tent where our bathroom was, and it was small tents where each of us had a room and where we slept. And we had nights where there was a big commotion, and then there was lion attacking antelope or zebra, or there's just so many stories. But what I can specifically remember was a leopard taking down, I can't remember exactly, I think it was a lechwe that the leopard took down in camp and killed it and walked off with it and chowed it just outside camp. And then another instance was a baboon chasing a leopard. We were back at camp for lunch, and we just heard this big commotion, cats screaming and baboons screaming. And when we walked out of the kitchen tent, we saw the leopard and the baboon chasing through the camp, and the baboon was a big male with big tusks, and he was chasing the leopard. I don't know for what reason, but that's one of the things that I can remember. So that is where the seed was planted. I even, in that time, I bought myself a 4x4 trailer, not even owning a 4x4. I just got it on an auction and I bought it because I'm going to set up this and I want to go to these places. Only many years later, I was able to overland and camp the way I am now. So in each episode, I will share a little bit of the story. And then eventually in an episode, I'll tell you my first experience. So hopefully you like it, and hopefully you'll be back. Well, join me on this last evening of Khiding Pan and my Wild Side of Mabua and Mabuasehube trip. I'm making some beef stew. I'm going to put some curry in there. I'm going to put some veggies in there. I've already browned the onions. The meat is in. And I'm busy browning that. And then I'm going to add some red muscadel from Darling Wine Cellars, also from my trip in Eiserfontein. And I'll bring you guys back when I'm putting in the veggies. That's my meal for the evening. And my lunch for tomorrow. Patkos, they call it patkos. Guys, thanks for joining me on this awesome trip. I hope you enjoyed it. This is the last night that I'm cooking food. Let me put this lid on before I get too excited. Can't wait to go back, do the editing and bring this all to you guys. Have an awesome time. Never give up. If you never give up, you never fail. Start overlanding if you're not overlanding at the moment. If you're overlanding, please join your journeys. We like to watch. Time out. The road home after a trip like this, it hits different. There's something about watching the landscape pass by through the windscreen, the long stretches of the tar, the gravel shaking underneath the tires. That gives you time to think, time to feel, time to be honest with yourself. You know, didn't see lions this time. No cheetahs running across the pan. No big moment that makes the thumbnail. And yet, this was one of the most meaningful trips I've had in a long time. Because somewhere in the silence of those pans, in the long dusty tracks with no one around, I remembered why I do this. Why I come back to these wild places over and over again. It's not just for the sightings, it's not for the drama, it's for the way the Kalahari slows you down, strips everything back, and gives you room to breathe again. This trip reminded me how small I am under African sky, and how lucky I am to be able to load up my vehicle and disappear into the wild whenever my soul needs it. It reminded me that peace doesn't always come from what you see. Sometimes it comes from what you feel, when nothing is happening at all. So as I drive back home, watching the dunes fade behind me and the world slowly return to its normal speed, I realize something important. Adventure isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just quiet roads, long thoughts, and a heart that is a little fuller than before. To the Kalahari, thank you. And to everyone who rides along on these journeys, thank you too. This trip didn't give me lions, but it gave me something far more powerful. It gave me myself again. Until the next road, stay wild, stay kind, and never stop searching for the places that make you feel alive.